So, yeah, I've been falsely accused multiple times over the past 10 fucking years. Do not blame me for other people being awful! You are so disgusting saying something like this to someone who's actually being open about being falsely accused multiple times. I'm that unlucky bitch that meets more abusive women than abusive men in my life. Piss off with your bullshit.
So, let me get this straight. Here's some context before I not only show the evidence, but start this long and arduous video. Mongrel has been falsely accused of things like sexual harassment for well over a decade, both IRL and online. Roughly 12 years or so as of now, if I'm not mistaken. All of this shit between Mongrel and a bunch of others they mentioned previously started because they tried to reason with people who were already on Amanda's side when it comes to the online part, or at least the extent of what I have as evidence for the online part. Yes, including Esmeralda, Rueda, Ray Rance, and even Lovely Lina. Lovely Lina was used as a tool to sexually harass Rose by Esmeralda Rueda and Victoria Rankin by falsely framing them as a quote-unquote predator, a quote-unquote groomer, and having no one to hear their side of the story. All of this because Rose was trying to get people on their side against Ariana Timble and Rebecca Kurleski, formerly Ryan Kurleski, also known as Star Giant Productions or Rebecca Starlight. I don't know about you people, or anyone else, but quick question, just to be curious, is Esmeralda Rueda Carmen Rider? Or is Esmeralda somebody else entirely? The evidence will only tell us the answer eventually. How did Lio Convoy get involved in all of this? Esmeralda Rueda told him, and without doing a damn's worth of research, let alone hearing anybody else's side, let alone Rose's, he just dismissed Rose as a predator and a groomer falsely. What Lio did then is just fucking despicable. That, and he will continuously dismiss Rose, to their own chagrin, and ours as well. I am indirectly, or rather directly, calling Lio out because currently, to be fair, has Esmeralda Rueda at his side. Having creeps like her only tells me that Lio has now become a lolcow. How, quote-unquote, accountability and responsibility in actuality means nothing to him, and how he has no balls to become the villain after finding out that Mint was allegedly groomed 5 times. The more we find out, the juicier the drama gets outside of my influence. But back to the point of this video. All of this beef when it comes to Mongrel back in 2021 was sometime after they cut ties with Phantom Strider and Lily Orchard after they were his captionist since January 2019. I'm talking about Phantom Strider's captionist since January 2019 until either late 2020 or early 2021. 2021, to be fair, is that 1 year these false accusations and allegations of sexual harassment, supposedly being a quote-unquote predator, a groomer, and other pettier drama/falling outs really got out of hand. And ever since then, whenever Rose attempted to try to convince anyone else of their innocence and at least hear them out, none of them until now were successful when I came along. Rose identifies as gender fluid, and thus I will be gender neutral. And what Rose describes themselves a little later on is quite telling. Hi everyone, I am Brian Mullins the Fox, and I have been gathering all the information that I need from Rose for days at this point. And I just need to have you all understand that none of the evidence I'm about to show you all undoes any of the obvious abuse and even grooming that occurred right whenever Lyle was around or not. If anything, this should be fuel for other content creators to spread the message around. So before I go through it all, I will talk about the conversation we had so far outside of the evidence they decided to send me to download throughout this past weekend. They have said a lot themselves, and of course I am being gender neutral. Rose asked me to join their Discord server on multiple platforms. In the comment section of the short and simple compilation of Neora and Grimskull's reaction to Lio telling Mint to record her rape, and Rose has also reached out to me in a private message on DeviantArt, and I joined the server after having seen the message they sent to me through DeviantArt. This started on September 7th, 2023, and it didn't last too long as of recording this video. I think Rose explained it best, and all I can do now is sum it up and show you pretty much all the evidence of the harassment afterwards. I joined the server at 4:34 p.m. on September 7th, 2023, with this GIF emote and just said hi, which Rose responds with, "Welcome, good sir. Glad my reaching out worked. And even more glad it wasn't required to be Twitter, lol." To which I replied with, "Same." Rose Knight Mongrel continues, "First and foremost, hi. Actual autistic person here. Lio Convoy is an ableist bitch who raided a server just to attack me. A friend of mine linked your channel, and holy fucking shit, those were cathartic to watch." To which I reply, simply saying, "I know." They continue, "I'm the one known as Mongrel, and I don't know what you heard about me." To which I reply with, "Okay, but this is the first time actually getting to know you." To which they reply with, "Fair enough, still curious about what rumors they were coming up with this time is all. Sometimes they get really funny, but on track. Star Giant Productions, aka Rebecca Starlight, dead/legal name Ryan Kruleski, also groomed a kid, specifically lovely Lina. Rosa Ray Ramsey is Becky's useful idiot. Becky threw me under the bus to defend a person she got proof was a child groomer that I did not receive. That being Nekopon, Ariana Timble, Ellie Dragon, I don't know what the fuck her screen name is now, and at this point consistently tries to bury anyone asking questions about what happened. I acknowledged what they said and said, "Alright, thanks for giving me info." They continue, "I got proof of Becky trying to pressure someone into deleting comments, by the way." And I respond with, "Okay, feel free to show me." They gave me the link to the video that I have downloaded, and it is one of many, and then posted as they linked the video to me, lol. Esmeralda Rueda, someone now very close to Thomas, sabotaged myself and notable mixed bag of nuts, call me Nilsy, exposing Ariana Timble, then obsessively launched a witch hunt against me, doxed personal info of mine she obtained illegally, detailing the escalation of mental health issues that arise from continual stress rooted in abuse/harassment from Ariana Timble and her posse at the time. Esmeralda has spread the lie, clearly through Thomas, that she was 17 at the time and that I quote-unquote terrorized her. Esmeralda was actually 19 when she harassed me for the second half of 2021, knowingly setting up an 18-year-old to get backstabbed by Predator Ray Rance as well in summer of 2021, to which I simply reply with, "Interesting. Anything else?" And then they continue once more, trying to remember currently. There's how Junkie, his partner, and others from their friend group witnessed Ultimate Lone getting super close to Ariana when they were friends, and I may be misremembering the story or was given false info by Junkie's partner, so I'd suggest asking them individually, but didn't do anything about it even after Ariana started calling the at the time minor her boyfriend. Esmeralda convinced someone who was a minor at the time to sexually harass me. Her right hand was VB Chinchilla, real name Victoria Rainking, and when Esmeralda and Victoria didn't have the minor to sexually harass me on their side anymore, they decided to sexually harass me, particularly using my vor kink as the subject of their harassment, assuming they weren't non-sexually harassing the minor they manipulated. Backtracking to Becky, when there was an investigation that honestly proved that she was a groomer with the fetish art that consistently involved fictional minors, Lonely Lina, since she's relevant, had falsely accused me of harassment and other shit, unfortunately. Still doesn't erase that she was groomed. Ariana manipulated myself while I was in an abusive household and took advantage of me ending up cognitively impaired, to the point Ariana tried to get me to lie to lawyers to help defend her. If I dug through my emails, I could find the answers to that shit she had me ask lawyers, and thankfully, I managed to retain enough smarts to figure out how to not lie. And I continued with, Alright, to which they continue once more. There is one point of credibility for Hopeless Peaches, by the way. She openly recognizes the difference between intrusive thoughts and compulsions, something Thomas openly rejected as a concept, trying to lie about in calling me a predator. And I asked, was there a live stream or some clip of this? Just curious. And they respond with, the Peaches part was in DMs with myself on my old account. And I reply with, oh. Rose continues, I could probably grab them this weekend. As for the 1,000 plus screenshots of harassment aimed at myself so far, these are safely on a USB drive of mine. Also will be willing/able to share those this weekend. And I go with it and say, alright, that sounds good. To which they reply back to me with, thanks for the willingness to hear me out, by the way. To which I replied back, no problem. And then they continue once more with asking me, let me guess, more things means more chances to discredit the bastard and undo the damage he did? To which I replied with, thinking about what I'm saying, discrediting Thomas? Because if you're talking about Lio, then technically yes, but for a pretty good reason. Also, Lio's not going to listen to his critics when he does cope streams. He's muted a few recently, or not too long ago. None of this will actually undo the damage he did, no matter what he says or does later. If anything, he'll probably ignore all this all he wants, but bringing all this to light is more important to a different audience. They reply back to me with, fair. Prevention over recovery is sometimes all that can be done. But nah, my existence pisses him off in a special way last I understood. When I was harassed to a point in a call with him and his cult, one of the things he shouted was, you don't scare me. The guy has also dismissed any of my actual reads on him as armchair psychology. So yeah, definite big thought and emotional control cult of mentality he has.
Okay, I got the recording up. I'm gonna feel free to say something now.
Alright. So what happened was Strider was friends with Lily for a couple weeks or a month, and Strider even explained to me that Lily Orchard was a huge fan of him. And I asked him what else happened, and he also explained to me that he was in a Discord server with Lily Orchard's patron.
Mm-hmm.
And what I also remember was what I also remember is that while he gave his community and Lily's community the benefit of the doubt and wanted to learn more about this, he was actually hurt by that particular behavior that Lily has literally hidden. And it was revealed on a live stream. And what also happened was while he was in the Lily Orchard Patreon Discord server, he was
You accidentally muted yourself.
Yeah?
While he was in the Patreon Discord server, what else happened?
What else happened?
Yeah.
So what else happened was, that Phantom Strider was hanging out with Lily Orchard, and things were going fine until he started to make a long rant on how straight people are fucking pedophiles. And she even called Phantom Strider a pedophile with no proof or evidence or claims.
Whoa.
And by that time, all of Lily Orchard's fans started to call Phantom Strider a pedophile, and Lily Orchard said, go attack this person.
Even though Strider is very much not like that.
No, he is not like that at all. So what else happened after that was that as the live stream ended,
Oop.
He...
Sorry, there was just a signal feedback.
Alright, so as the live stream ended, he left the server and he broke down crying about how much pain he has felt from Lily Orchard and her fans.
Wow. This is plenty enough to send to my friend. Thank you for letting me record this.
No, it's fine. And what also happened was when I explained Strider about Star Giant venting and shit, I literally started to tell him one very important quote was, honestly, it's very sad to see people who are fans of someone who then becomes the victim of their abusive behaviors and antics. Whenever I see someone berate someone close to me or anyone I don't know, that always makes my blood boiling hot to the point where I scream out like a volcano, screaming out very harsh criticism and other things. Meaning that if that continues more, then I've had enough.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording because I think you've told plenty about the story and we don't really need to worry about any other reactions. Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, thanks again.
The thing is...
Disclaimer. This video will be mentioning abuse, inappropriate behavior with children, and subjects of betrayal. If any of those make you uncomfortable, click away or watch this video in chunks. In everyone's life, you'll come across good people and bad people. In my life, the overlap is astoundingly present. And sometimes, you meet bad people who do a lot of good. Sometimes, there are good people who do a lot of bad things, whether they mean to or not. But what happens when you meet someone who pretends to be good so convincingly, but in reality, they're rotten to the core? I'm Mystic Mongrel, and this is my story of having dealt with such an individual. This is my interaction with Nekopon, the worst chubby to ever chase. The feeling of betrayal is something one usually goes through for the first time when you're a teenager, maybe even a preteen. Come across the wrong person, or maybe you realize it was your parents doing things under the guise of caring only to hurt you more and more. The most sincere people will often have their sincerity returned, even by the most cruel people, with your loyalty being respected by those who hate you and beloved by those who care for you. Even those who seek to ruin your life will not grow close to you because they know innately such a person shouldn't be made a target out of openly, let alone betray their bonds of trust. What happens, however, when your first experience of your loyalty being betrayed happens when you're already an adult? One by a person who helped save your life on some scale, even being the first one who betrayed you. It hurts. And if you're like me, you wouldn't react well when other stressors in your life stockpile, like an abusive home and being manipulated online for over 2 months. In fact, you might lose your shit. But how about a worse case, where someone you stick your neck out for to help, only for her to decide to betray you when you end up... But how about a worse case, where someone you stick your neck out for to help, only for her to decide to betray you when you get over a crush on her, and then she sends one of her toys to cyberstalk you? That happened to me. Some backstory first. I started working for Strider in January of 2019. He invited me to his server in July of 2020. I was his captioner during and after that invite. Through Strider's server, I met Ariana, who is known as Nekopon online, though her main account has since been changed to Ellie Dragon, and she has a secondary account known as Onryo. She had recently become his artist, as well as Rebecca's. Rebecca is otherwise known as Star Giant Productions. For the full reference of this video and others, I will never dead name nor misgender Rebecca. She claims to be a woman, and as such, I will refer to her exactly as that, even if I do believe she's lying about her gender. By proxy, these events also led me to meeting Ray Rance, who is another story for the second video. For the rest of the summer, there wasn't much happening. The most I did was establish myself as someone consistently there for the community, and at one point, either late summer or maybe in the early to mid-autumn, I helped Rebecca's editor, Kai, get a better pay rate. A significant event happened in the summer, however, with someone who is now a friend of mine, lovely Lina, who turned 18 in the August of that year. Lina had displayed many inappropriate behaviors as a minor and after turning 18, which in retrospect are actually rather obvious behaviors of a minor having been sexually manipulated by an adult. That adult would be Rebecca. She's not the topic today, though. Lina and Rebecca's relationship does need a pin in it for when I discuss Rebecca in my third video. So, back on track. From working with Strider through October onwards, Ariana and I were actually becoming very close to my understanding. Really, she was further manipulating me. I didn't realize it at the time because I hadn't gone through manipulation like that before. Strider actively tried to warn me, to his credit, and I honestly wish I had listened. It would have saved us a lot of problems. When December came along and we thought things had calmed down, Ariana was fired from being Strider's artist because he came across information exposing her as a pedophile. Ariana's best friend, Amanda, who may be a worse person than Ariana herself, furthered the manipulation as well. Still remember that night even. I tried to get a hold of Ariana, and I tried to have Amanda and Kevin get a hold of Ariana. We all failed because it seemed like Ariana was asleep. I was about to try sleeping myself, only for Ariana to call me on Facebook and manipulate me into calming her down because she was fake crying, and my goal was to help compose her. Honestly, it's a lot to look back on this, and there is some evidence I really want to show, but I'm not going to show it, even though it would be a necessary evil, because the last thing I need is someone else, who I will be discussing in the future, you know who you are. I need him to have less of an excuse to harass and cyberstalk me the way he already has been. I will, however, link the stream, which I can't watch again because it will trigger my trauma responses. Specifically, I will, however, link the stream where Ariana showed herself at her worst in the description. I can't watch it again, nor can I grab the sound bites from it, because it will trigger me to have a very bad trauma response, because that is the second worst day of my life. But please, do actually watch it. In fact, watch the entire playlist that I link in the description called Project Nekopon. It will help highlight what kind of person she is. She brought someone on that stream who I couldn't yell in front of again. She knew that, and she used it against me. Of all the personal offenses, that one is the definite worst for me. And I speak personal offenses, not her offenses in general, such as grooming multiple minors, one of whom I am now friends with, and two others who, from what I've heard, don't care about the situation anymore and would be fine with their names either being censored or just having their whole situation with her exposed in general. There's a lot that I'm not really going to be able to go into here involving Ariana because it'll jumble up when I talk about other people, and she tends to have people do the dirty work for her, which do include, but aren't limited to, cyberstalking, hacking, and other forms of manipulation. She's not a good person, and her full name, which is known publicly, so it's not doxing to reveal it in any stretch of the imagination. Her full name is Ariana Timball. Her father is a cop, and I'm going to be real with you. If he knew what his little girl was doing, I'm very certain she would be disowned, even if she is from New Jersey. For now, here's a slideshow of some screenshots between myself, Call Me Nell, and some censored names who have had their own interactions with her. This is what I can get publicly. Oh, and I'll even throw in some of the lawyer statements too that she had me stick my neck out for her to get. Because, you know, she didn't care if I ended up homeless. She just cared about her own well-being. And also, nice little cosmic gift of when she smashed a door on my birthday, because no lawyer is going to touch her situation with a 3 million meter pole. When all is said and done, I have myself to blame in part back in November for not using my head more clearly, but she used me being in an abusive home against me and decided to treat me well when I needed good treatment the most.
of all things, she used my abuse situation to decide to just further manipulate me, as though she knew that getting someone who is mistreated any form of good treatment is going to win you insane levels of loyalty. She also has a knack for going for autistic people, such as the guy that she has been last heard to be with, Kai Smash Universe. She also apparently lusted for Phantom Strider for a significant amount of time, and I'm another autistic person she manipulated. There are 3 people that she will always be trying to manipulate. The one with the larger surface area than her in terms of coverage and platform. The one who will be loyal to her as an autistic friend that will do so much for her and make it seem like she's totally innocent at all costs. And then finally, the grooming victim, who is often a teenage boy with a deeper voice. Of those 3, I was the autistic manipulation victim, and apparently she got with Kai right after she threw me under the bus and backstabbed me as severely as she did. That right there, that's a sign that she wants to frame me as a monster when I'm not. I'm not a monster, and anyone who has said otherwise needs a reality check. I will revisit this situation in the future videos, talking about 2 other people as well as my episode 0, and that will be used to put some other stuff into context. Until next time, everyone, stay jiggy. And Red Internet Man from Florida, you're next. Have fun when I call out your track record, asshole. I still remember what you did to her, and I will expose it. And I will make it very well known I was the only one in the group who knew what you would do to the other woman. Have fun getting your cyberstalking exposed.
This massive chapter, after having shown you all the evidence, will be me rebutting all the false allegations against Rose Knight Mongrel, who goes by Mystic Mongrel on YouTube or just Mongrel in general. Alright, here are all the accusations that I'm going to debunk. The first one, quote-unquote, Mystic Mongrel is a predator and a groomer, according to people like Esmeralda, Rueda, and Lio Convoy, among others. Firstly, there is no solid evidence that the person I am defending in this video in any way, shape, or form is a predator, nor are they a groomer either. In fact, they were sexually harassed by Esmeralda, Rueda, Ariana Timble, and harassed in general by people like Ray Rance and Rebecca Starlight. All of this was done because they were afraid of a certain individual with autism exposing them right with Ariana. So despite Lina being groomed in the past, being used to slander Rose, and having shown a track record of inappropriate behavior, Lina is seemingly innocent enough not to be put up on the wall, in my strong-ass opinion. Given that it's based on empirical fact, Mongrel is not a predator or a groomer. Secondly, why in the hell would anybody use a then-to-be minor as both a tool and a meat shield for others, especially Ariana Timble and Rebecca Starlight? That just means that I was right about all of this shit from years ago all along. So was Mongrel. All these false allegations are just used as complete projection against Rose for no good reason whatsoever. And finally, when it comes to all of this coming out of the woodwork to me this past weekend, I couldn't thank them enough for how much effort they put into trying to clear their name. Clearly, others like Ray Rance and others I've mentioned before will not and never will change their minds about Mongrel, since they have a pattern of showing themselves to be absolute sheep and NPCs. No matter how empirical the evidence is, they will still believe, no matter what, that they are somehow a predator and groomer, even though they're not a groomer nor a predator at all. Mongrel did not intimidate Esmeralda, it was the other way around. So when it comes to Lio Convoy, the Senate, and others I've mentioned before, refusing or being unable to take criticism, to quote Rose, these guys are just a Wish version of a Walmart version of Kiwi Farms. Have you seen the way they have a tantrum when criticized? Mr. Rogers would be disappointed in them, honestly. Yeah, I quoted Rose directly here. So with all that being said and done, hopefully this video should be influential enough for Rose to at least recover from this. I am Brian Mullins the Fox, signing out. Goodbye.